On the evening of February 9, 2004, 21-year-old nursing student Maura Murray crashes her car into a snowbank in Haverhill, New Hampshire. She has not been seen or heard from since that night. So what really did happen to Maura that night?
Somebody grabbed her, maybe somebody hearing it in a scanner or something like that. I think it's a Monday night. There's nothing really going on. It's not a tourist type of deal. I think a local dirtbag grabbed her. And I know she would have called me that Monday night if she were able. But.
When a person disappears without a trace, often the most critical information is hidden in their actions and words on the days prior to their vanishing. It is true that Maura had been going through some troubling times before her disappearance. She had been in trouble prior for stealing makeup and also for credit card fraud at the university in which she was attending, where Maura admitted to using a stolen credit card to order food. In the early morning hours of February the 8th, just one day before Maura would go missing, she was leaving a party at around 3:30 a.m. in the morning en route to go back to her father's motel. However, she struck a guardrail, causing nearly $10,000 worth of damage to her father's car. It cannot be confirmed whether Maura had been drinking this night, as there is no documentation of sobriety field tests being conducted. Reports state that Maura was very broken up and distressed over this incident. So this is video footage of what would have been Maura Murray's last known drive, approximately 1 mile from the crash site. Now, as you can see on the Google Maps on the right hand side there, this video starts at point A, heads down Route 112, down Wild Amanusic Road, and ends at point B at the crash site. So this is the route which Maura would have taken that night. She would have been coming down here around 7:25 p.m. It was dark out, Monday evening, February 9, 2004. In her car, she packed clothing, toiletries, college textbooks, and birth control pills. When her room was searched later, campus police discovered most of her belongings packed in boxes, and the art had been removed from the walls. It's not clear whether Murray packed them that day, but police at the time asserted she'd packed between Sunday night and the Monday morning. At around 3:30 p.m. that Monday afternoon, she drove off the campus in her black satin sedan. At 3:40 p.m., Maura withdrew $280 from an ATM. Closed-circuit footage showed that she was alone. At a nearby liquor store, she purchased about $40 worth of alcoholic beverages, including Bailey's Irish Cream, Kahlua vodka, and a box of Franzia wine. Footage again shows she was alone when she made that purchase. Okay, so here we are, coming around the hairpin bend where Maura lost control of her vehicle. And apparently what happened here is she turned her wheels hard right, and she spun around, hitting a tree and ending up alongside the snowbank with her vehicle facing back towards the westway. So.
About 7:30 at night, Maura is traveling eastbound on 112. Her vehicle comes through here, and she loses control right in here and spins around, and she's facing now in the opposite direction.
Private investigator Tom Shamshak is one of a number of PIs and police who have searched for Maura Murray over the last 10 years. He has walked through the New Hampshire woods and talked to witnesses and studied police reports New Hampshire has made public. And Shamshak is concerned for Maura Murray's fate.
I think Maura was taken from the scene and then something happened.
But where is Maura Murray right now? At the scene of the crash, there are precious few clues. There are witnesses who saw her, including a school bus driver who lived nearby. He saw Maura and offered help, but did not stay with her.
He stopped, opened the door, had conversation with her, asked her if she needed assistance. Maura replied that she had already called 911, but that isn't the case. She didn't make a call.
There is the scent a dog picked up 39 hours after the disappearance on Route 112.
The dog tracked from the scene of the accident up 600 feet and stopped. The dog lost the scent.
So this is the last sign of Maura Murray, 600 feet away from where the car was.
In the middle of the road.
In the middle of the road, and that's 39 hours later. What does that tell you, Tom, that the scent, the trail ends for Maura Murray right there?
Well, it could mean that she either got into a vehicle or she continued walking and the dog just wasn't able to detect anything any further.
The place where the dog lost the scent is across the street from the home of Butch Atwood, the school bus driver's home. And Shamshak says that school bus driver, now dead, did something odd that night.
The bus driver has brief conversation with Maura, is satisfied that she's okay, and he drives down about 700-800 feet to his driveway, backs his bus in, and then sits in the bus for about 15 to 20 minutes doing paperwork. He is seen by another neighbor who noted that Atwood was in the bus working.
The bus driver told investigators after he left Maura at the accident scene, he never saw her again. And out in the woods along Route 112, extensive searches by land and air have all failed to turn up a single clue.
Had Maura walked into the woods and was severely injured, she would have been found. If Maura went into the woods and took her own life, we would have found something by now.
So here are some of my theories about what may have happened to Maura Murray on that night. Now, this case leaves you with much more questions than it does answers. It's just so open-ended. It's just such an open-ended case. One of the biggest signs of evidence really that has been left over is the fact that there's absolutely no evidence at all. Like, there's been no sightings of her since that night. No one's heard from her since that night. No one's found any belongings from her, like a backpack or a piece of clothing or something. Her cell phone hasn't been used. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that really is one of the biggest pieces of evidence, is that there's just been nothing. So that might tell you a couple things. I guess that means she didn't just walk into the woods close by and take her life there. Or she didn't just walk into the woods close by and perish in the open, because they would have found something. Some clothing, they would have found something. They would have found evidence from that. So we can say that that didn't happen. So here are my main 4 theories here. A lot of these are popular theories going around as well, of course. The first one is that she was abducted, okay? The second one is that she ran away to start a new life. The third one is that she took her own life. And the fourth one may be an accidental death on that night. Now, I'll go into more detail on each of those ones and why I think each of those ones are plausible. Remembering, of course, that these are only my theories and my take on what could have happened. So just offering my take on the situation. So the abducted theory. Now, from the time Maura crashed her car and from the time Butch Atwood left her there to go call the police, and by the time the police showed up, they showed up within minutes. They were there within like 10 minutes. So by the time Butch Atwood left Maura, she had like 3 or 4 minutes to disappear, and she disappeared just like that in the blink of an eye. So They say there were no footprints leading into the snow. So with the abducted theory, she must have like jumped into a car like there and then, like straight away, and she was gone. Now the chances of a bad guy, we'll say, coming across her path at that exact point, at that exact time, the chances of that, it's possible, but it's so low. So I guess my point of view, in my opinion, maybe she was picked up there and then at the scene. If she was abducted, maybe the person that picked her up was a good person, dropped her off further down the road, and maybe something's happened to her there. So maybe she's still being abducted, or there has been foul play. Maybe further down the line, maybe she's originally taken a ride, as I say, from a good person, and maybe she's found somewhere to stay the night. Maybe something's happened to her after that. The chances of someone picking her up and foul play happening right there and then, a bad guy picking her up, is the chances are so slim, but it's it is possible. But so if something didn't happen to her there and then at the site, something may have happened to her further down the road, And also to know too, this isn't new. Stuff like this happening in this area. Things like this certainly have happened. Young woman. People going missing around this area. So, it certainly isn't a new thing. So, that certainly leads into the abducted theory as well. So, the abducted theory seems to be the most popular one, and I would put that at the top of my list as well. Okay, now theory number 2, the theory that she ran away. Now, this is possible, but she would have had to have done a really good job of hiding out for all this time. If she went up into Canada, which has been rumored, to start a new life, she would have had to have done an amazing job of hiding out for all this time to have absolutely no sign of her for all these years. So that makes it that a little bit less possible as well, unless she's gone overseas or something like that, just changed her identity altogether. But there you'd think there would be some sign or sight of her, and there has been no credible sightings. So there has been sightings, but none of them credible. So, however, everyone who knows her, her friends and her family, say that this is highly unlikely that she would have ran away. So, some people think that she may have, but the people who seem to know her best seem to think that this is very unlikely that she would have done that. So that also plays into that theory as well. Now, the theory that she may have taken her own life, definitely a possibility as well. But where? It obviously wasn't like anywhere in the open vicinity. She didn't just wander off into the snow and do it. There would have been some kind of evidence left over. So where she would have done it, if she has taken her own life, she must have, done it in the middle of absolutely nowhere where no one can find her, because there's just no sign of her at all. So that's the big question about that one is where. And there's also the petrol in the tank theory. Her tank was like full, and you might say, well, if someone was planning on taking their life, they wouldn't care. They just want to get there and do it, sort of thing. And the fact that there's petrol in her car shows maybe that she cared enough and had the presence of mind enough to put that much petrol in. So she had, she wanted to go to and from a destination. There's that argument. People say that the petrol in the tank theory holds no credibility at all and doesn't really prove anything. There's two ways of looking at it, but it's definitely interesting. A side note anyway. But plus she had all her textbooks and all her stuff, running gear and stuff packed in her car. So she was planning to go away for a few days, it looks like, and actually do stuff to study and stuff like that. So that sort of takes the fact that she may have taken her own life, that takes that theory away a bit too. So, there's all sorts of ways of looking at that one. But again, no evidence, no body, so we just don't know. Now, another theory that crossed my mind was maybe it was like an accidental death. Okay, she's had the car crash. She's wandered off into the woods, like not there and then at the scene. She hasn't left footprints. Maybe she's gone. Maybe she's got like a lift down the road, a few hundred miles down the road, and maybe she's walked to her destination. Walked into the woods. Way down the road. Not right at the crash site. So maybe she's gone. A few hundred miles down the road, wandered off into the woods up there, and maybe from that crash, she may have been dazed, concussed, maybe. As rumored to be from that crash. Maybe she hit her head. There is a crack in the window, so maybe she's in a dazed state, and she's way down the road somewhere. She's gone for a walk into the woods, and maybe she's fallen down a bank or down a rock face into a hard to reach place where no one can see her or find her. That is a real possibility, I think, too. There's also Old Peters Road. Some people think that she may have gone down there. This is where it is on the map. It's like right beside where she crashed the car. And Maura was very fit, a very good runner, so she may have gone down there. And something may have happened down there as well. She may have wandered off into the woods further down that way. However, as we saw before in the police video, that the scent was actually found by the dogs, was that she was actually going the other way, east. So that sort of debunks the old Peters Road theory a bit there too. But certainly she may have got a ride from a stranger there and there on the crash site. A good person took her, a few hundred miles down the road, quite far away from the crash site, and maybe she's wandered off into the woods at that stage, and dazed, possibly with concussion, and she may have fallen to an accidental death, where nobody could find her. I think that's a possibility in my view, anyway. So if I were to look at all these theories now and put them into the likelihood of what actually did happen, I guess I'm gonna put abducted up there. These are just roundabout figures. It's so hard to pigeonhole anything here because it's such an open-ended case, but I guess I put abducted as the most likely. And for the other three theories, I think that they are just as likely to happen as one another. I think it's just as likely that she may have taken her own life, that she ran away, and maybe it was an accidental death. It could have been any one of those. Would not surprise me. And but I would say that it's definitely one of these four things. From all the open-endedness and ambiguity of this case, it's the best I can do is to at least narrow it down, to these four possibilities, and say that yes, one of these four things, definitely happened to her. In such an open-ended case, that's the best sort of way I can look at it and say, well, there you go. That's at least one definite of this case, is that one of these things definitely happened to her. And I would not be surprised at all on what one, Just hopefully, there may be a conclusion to this case one day soon, and, hopefully they would find more, and, hopefully, no harm has come to her, and, maybe she's alive and well somewhere, or maybe it's just something accidental, we just don't know. But hopefully, especially for the Murray family, they just want some conclusion to this, and, for all us armchair critics, trying to give our best opinions out there, it'd be just great to have some kind of a conclusion to this case, and that hopefully nothing, really bad happened to her at all. So hopefully this case, could be solved. It's been a long time now, so it's just so open-ended. There's no answers. There's just all questions and no answers. But as I say, one of the biggest clues really was that there's just been absolutely no sign of her. That could mean a number of things. But we just hope that no real harm came to this young girl. So young, 21 years old. She's not 50, she's not 60 years old, she's 21. So young. And from all accounts, seems like a sweet young girl who was maybe having a few troubles in her life at this time, and maybe she just wanted to get away for a few days, and maybe foul play has come to her, maybe something accidental has happened to her. But I'm gonna go now to a couple of views of some psychics. It's always interesting just to see from that point of view. Sometimes psychics can pick up on things, and sometimes they can't. There are a lot of phonies out there, whole bunch of phonies out there, but there may be one or two out there too that can pick up on some stuff, and they have been known to solve cases, and all avenues should definitely be looked into and explored, because you just never know. And if nothing else, there's a couple of views here from psychics, from videos on YouTube that are interesting and to listen to, if nothing else. So let's put those on now.
This is a hard time for her, so I believe she drinks some alcohol, and that makes her driving more poorly. So she crashes, and now she is very afraid to lose her driver license, and she's afraid what her friends will say, her family, what they'll say on school. She's afraid that she can't be a nurse when she is finished at school. So she's a kind of in a shock. So she runs away and followed the road towards some water, a river perhaps, and she gets into the woods, not far from the road, and she sits down, and it's very cold. I can feel her shiver, and she's looking out on the water. I feel it is a river. I'm not sure if it is a big tree that makes the roof over her head, or it is some kind of a bridge. And she sits here and listens to the cars driving, and she fall asleep because she's tired because she haven't slept very well in the last days. And when she wakes up, she is too cold, and now her brain doesn't work as good as it shall be because she's so cold. And when you're cold, you do stupid things. So I believe she goes to the river and goes out in the river and drowns, and the body floats with the river. So I believe the whole thing is a big accident, a sad accident.
What was the pond near there?
There's the Wild Ammonoosuc River.
A river. They looked there for her?
I believe so, yeah.
There's water near where she is.
Mm-hmm.
She's near water. She's near the water.
You think she's still alive?
No. I don't feel that. I don't feel a heartbeat. I don't feel that.
Was she traveling with anybody in tandem, possibly Liz, or
I don't know. It doesn't. I see her alone, though.
yeah?
I don't see her with anybody, Mama. But I do see this big truck, and Then I don't see her anymore. I think she's inside that truck.
Wouldn't be a school bus, would it?
Or a big SUV. Looks like a big SUV. Did you ever see anybody with that?
There was a report at the Swiftwater State Lodge that a big red SUV with sort of a white back turned around at some point there, possibly going back towards her.
It's a big one. It wasn't a little one. Seemed like a little bit of snow falling too. It was like, you know, fine snow. I'm getting that night there was fine snow falling.
I believe there was definitely a recent snowfall.
Fine snow. I keep
Yeah.
seeing fine snow. Like these big flakes of fine snow coming down. And she's standing on the side. Then I don't see her no more. After that truck or whatever it is, SUV, the big back of it. I just keep seeing the big back of it. And I don't see her anymore.
So there are the psychic's views. Two very different views there. The first guy saying, you know, she's being dazed by the accident, drinking, etc. She's ended up, you know, drowning in a river. That was the conclusion he came to. So like an accidental death there, and the second one, the woman was saying she's been abducted in an SUV. So two different outcomes there, but interesting nonetheless. So just thought I would put those on. So thank you very much for checking out the video. Just wanted to make a video of my own on this subject. Seen so many other videos about it, just thought I would just make one of my own. This isn't a complete be-all end-all video by any means. You know, there's a lot of stuff that I've missed out. You know, there's a lot of stuff not included in this video of what happened. So I've got links in the description, so definitely be sure to check those out, where you can find a lot more information on this case, and other YouTube channels as well who cover this case in a lot more detail. So as I say, this is pretty much just a basic video really, covering some of the facts and some theories as well. Now everybody has their own thoughts and theories on what they think may have happened to Maura. I've shared some of mine, and you know, everybody has different ideas, and I encourage you to put your comments in the comment section below of what you think may have happened, because everybody's theory and everybody's thoughts are extremely valid, because nobody knows what happened, and everyone and anyone who has an idea, it's worth looking into every possibility, and every thought and theory is welcomed in the comment section, as we just don't know what happened. So be sure to do that, and you know, hopefully you know, someday soon, you know, maybe there could be some resolution to this case, some kind of a conclusion. You know, we just hope someday soon that that may be the case. So I'm gonna end it now with a final video with Fred Murray, Maura's father. He has spent tireless hours looking for Maura in those woods in Haverhill, New Hampshire. You know, with large groups of people, and also just by himself for many hours. So we're gonna finish it now with a video of Fred, and thanks again for watching. Be sure to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you next time.
There's no question about whether I'm gonna look for her. You know, this is my kid. My kid wants me to look for her. I'm gonna look for my kid. You know, I don't know what happened to her. I mean, I don't have Maura. I don't have a body. You know, I have to think in these terms, but the case certainly isn't over.